Good morning, meteorologist Bob Acanfrio with today's tropical update for Tuesday, August 30th, 2011. Well, we have our 11th name system in the tropical Atlantic. This morning we have Tropical Storm Katia. Maximum sustained winds 40 miles an hour, movement to the west-northwest at 17. So here it is, way out in the eastern Atlantic. This is the official forecast track by the National Hurricane Center for the next 5 days. Bringing it up to a hurricane in approximately 48 hours, and then possibly a major hurricane as we move into a Labor Day weekend with a position just to the northeast of the islands. Right now the islands are not in the cone of concern, which is good news. I mean, the official forecast track and most of the models do keep this to the north of the islands. Still some wiggle room there, still have to really be a watchful eye. So if you're living anywhere across the northern Leeward Islands here, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, keep an eye on this system for, as we move towards the week. If it does come close to you guys, it will be towards Labor Day weekend, mostly into the Sunday, Monday range there. So just keep a watchful eye on it. Right now, again, most of the models do have it going north of you, but then we will most likely have a major hurricane pretty close by, so definitely keep an eye. Then from there, I'll show you a lot of the model runs and where we might be going with this. Will this come a little farther west and make a turn like this? Will it turn more towards Bermuda? And then of course up in here we will have our friends in Canada to the north. We'll have to keep a watchful eye on this, especially if it starts coming up something like this. So again, that's in the long range, a long way out to really watch that. And we'll keep tuned here, and I'll keep giving you my thoughts, and we'll keep fine-tuning this forecast. Visible satellite loop this morning, you could see the easterly shear starting to lessen just a little bit from yesterday. We had enough deep convection firing pretty much close to the center here to get that designation as a tropical storm. You can see the center here is still on the edge of the convection here. Just to the northeast of the heaviest convection. You can see the center of circulation just popping up here out of the deeper convection here on the visible loop this morning. But as the system moves west-northwest, shear will lessen. System has a really good chance of becoming a hurricane in about 36 to 48 hours. And then all conditions are really there for steady strengthening with this system, and we could definitely see a major hurricane out of this in about 4 to 5 days. The wider picture here, so here is Katia coming into our picture here, little mid to upper level low here. This is probably significant for the islands because this is going to give that ridge to the north of Katia, that's steering Katia this way, just enough bump to the west-northwest to miss the islands. Just going to give it that bump. There's just this little bit of weakness here, so that's pretty much the saving grace here for the islands. After that, which I'll show you in the models in a minute, once this gets past the islands, we're going to watch for the evolution of the weakening of our subtropical ridge here, the western extent of it, as a couple troughs come off the east coast and try to knock this ridge to the east and weaken that western extent and have Katia move up like this. Also going to be keeping our eye on the Gulf of Mexico this weekend. We have a trough here, trough of low pressure here in the western Caribbean. This is going to shift westward, interact with another trough here that's going to start lying down here across the western Gulf of Mexico. This is all going to come together here in the Gulf to try to spin something up in here. A lot of the models are starting to jump on board with this. Really basically the entire northern Gulf Coast here into Texas needs to watch this. It's going to be one of those slow movers here, and look more likely that it's going to head towards the Texas coast eventually, but it could try to escape up towards Louisiana as well. So it's going to be in this general area here where we'll have to watch it and see what happens. We could be talking about Tropical Storm Lee later this weekend into Labor Day. So again, for those of you living here along the Gulf Coast, hopefully it won't get that strong. It could be a really great drought buster for Texas and Louisiana and at least Texas. Boy, that would be great news, especially if it doesn't get too strong. But we'll keep a watch on that. Water vapor loop real quickly, again showing this mid to upper level system here. It's going to induce Katia to move more towards the west-northwest like this. And then again we'll be watching the Gulf in this area, right in this region, moving into the Gulf for the weekend. Closer look at Katia here real quickly, and you can see the shear here. Again, we're more in that 10 to 15 knot range today, and as this moves west-northwest, it's really going to be into waters will progressively get warmer, shear is going to lessen, and we should see an uptick in Katia, steady, slow development here, and we should be seeing a hurricane in about a day or two. This higher shear will stay to the north of Katia. This is the steering currents here currently for Katia, and you can see there's that little bit of weakness here from that mid to upper level system embedded into this ridge here. And again, that's just going to give it this little bump to the west-northwest. And then later on in the period, again, we're going to watch the erosion of the western extent of the ridge here. And where is it going? Bermuda, Canada, between Bermuda, United States, closer to the, it's going to be something in this range. One of these tracks in here, and that's really the uncertainty in the long-term forecast right now. And again, whatever does develop in the Gulf here right now, or near the Yucatan, this system's going to move into the Gulf. This high pressure is going to move east. So that's going to allow the system to meander here right off the Texas coast. High pressure is going to try to build back into the north here and try to push this system back towards, central Texas coast, lower Texas coast, maybe even Mexico, or could have a little escape route to the north as well. So really uncertainty there, but anyway, it's going to be the western Gulf for that system. All right, model runs. GFDL, again, north of the islands, and the trend you're going to see here is as the system gets north of the islands, you're going to see an area of low pressure try to develop to the north of Bermuda as well. Whether that's going to be tropical or not, we saw Jose come from something like that as well, so it's always possible. And that's going to create another little weakness here. Some of the models are having a little hard time with that, whether it catches this quickly and moves it towards Bermuda, or does this weakness, this low pressure, and the erosion of the western extent of this ridge, does it miss this and kind of move a little farther west and then wait for the next trough to take it? So that's really what we're going to be watching for in the long term there. UK Met model, a little closer to the islands. It's a little quicker too, so this little faster motion is bringing it a little farther west. It's already knocking on the door by Saturday here at the islands, so it's about a day or two quicker, especially than the GFS, which is the slowest model right now. You're going to watch that almost every model does have this area of low pressure developing just north of Bermuda here. So depending on how fast or slow and how quickly this high pressure fills back in, that's really going to be the key, whether this system gets closer to Bermuda or maybe finds that window between Bermuda and the United States, or even closer to the United States. So that's really what we're going to be having to watch for. And again, you may think, well, what's the big deal if it moves between Bermuda and the United States? Well, could come close to New England, and of course we have our friends in Canada here as well. So again, I'm going to use Dr. Ryan's maps today from FSU here. We haven't used these on the on my videos, but they're really good to use here. So this is the Euro, and you're going to watch the Euro as I put this into motion here. You're going to see, here's the evolution again of that low pressure system to the north of Bermuda. And again, the GFS model, which I'll show you in a minute, really takes it and follows this up this way. The Euro, on the other hand, and I'll show you this, let me go back this up here, kind of misses that, and now it's going to wait for the next trough to take it out. And then here we go. We're in between Bermuda and the United States, and then what happens? Does it get close to New England? You know, does it get into Canada here? So that's what really we have to be watching for. And then our system, of course, around the Gulf Coast, this is for Sunday night and then into Monday night as well here. And here it is just off the Texas coast. Keeps a pretty weak system, tropical storm strength, and then into Mexico there by about Tuesday night. As high pressure builds back into the north, it's going to push the system back to Texas. This is the Euro ensemble models, and they're even farther west. You see how far west they put Katia here. So again, as I was telling you yesterday, I have my instinct tells me, especially with all the teleconnections, that this is going to come a little closer to the United States. Now, whether it hits the United States or not, that's to be seen. But this isn't going to be one of those go east of Bermuda and may even miss Bermuda altogether. I think this is going to be more of that in between the United States and Bermuda type track, and how close it gets to the U.S., you know, we don't know that part yet, but I'm really feeling this is going to come into this area right in here somewhere. All right, quickly here, GFS model, again, definitely farther east than the Euro. Definitely follows this this low pressure out, and then we have our second trough, and really gives it a push near Bermuda and then into Canada. And interesting to note, let's just run this really one more time real quickly here. You see our evolution of our system here in the Gulf later this weekend. And what really happens is it spins it up just south of Louisiana. High pressure pushes it back to Texas, but whoops, makes the loop-de-loop and back to the north. Very interesting track, and that really could happen as well. Have to watch for that scenario as well. That's why I said the entire Gulf Coast really needs to watch this system this week, and in the western Gulf of Mexico. And HWRF model, again, pretty far north, almost following the GFS track. And you'll see with the intensity of all these models, almost everybody has it as a major hurricane here in about 4 to 5 days. So, but you know, again, intensity forecasting's tough. We saw that with Irene, but when you have every single model on board with this becoming a major hurricane, it's probably pretty likely conditions are really going to be favorable for that to happen. And last but not least, our South Water Management, all our models put together here. And this is the ensemble GFS models as well, all these little tracks. The ensemble GFS models have also been a little farther west than the operational track. You saw operational near Bermuda. Most of the ensembles have been west. And again, I think the trend is going to be more into this area here as we go into the long term. Again, good news for the islands. Consensus is still far north of the islands. So far, so good for them. But again, just keep a watchful eye this week. This week, and see if there's any changes there in the track forecast. That's it for my update today. I'll have another one tomorrow. Could be in the morning, could be later in the evening. Follow me on Facebook, Robert, ACANFRIO, and my blog at weatherunderground.com. Have a good day.